Alpha MBM, a UAE company, was given the deal to construct a refinery in Uganda. How far? When should Ugandans expect this refinery to be up and ready?
So we entered an implementation agreement with Alpha MBM, and in this arrangement, Alpha MBM is a 60% shareholder, and the Uganda National Oil Company is a 40% shareholder. The project has been structured to be funded purely by equity. So Alpha will raise 60% equity, and then UNOC 40% equity supported by the government of Uganda. So because we are not going to the debt markets directly, it's not project financed, it allows for us to be able to innovatively start on the project early enough. So as we speak, we are preparing for what we call early works. Early works to allow for the 5 square kilometers where this project will be situated to be cleared. It's part of the Kabalega Industrial Park. So out of the 29.57 square kilometers of Kabalega Industrial Park, 5 square kilometers have been allocated to the oil refinery. So as we do that, we are finalizing the engineering and design for the project. So we are confident by 2029 that the project should also be on track to join the
On
oil and
track
gas
as a groundbreaking or
concluded
already concluded?
concluded commissioning.
In 2029,
Yes,
people should expect an oil refinery.
yes.
How much fuel or how much of the refined fuel should Ugandans expect to be getting from that refinery in Kabalega?
So the refinery is a 60,000 barrels per day refinery. So the bulk of that will go to the fuels we consume. It's expected to produce some liquefied petroleum gas. We will get some diesel, kerosene, although kerosene is no longer on demand, so the bulk of it will come out as jet fuel. So jet fuel and of course petrol. And then we will have what we call a portion of heavy fuel oil. So heavy fuel oil is what we use for burning in industries, boilers, etc. By the nature of our crude oil, we remain with that, what we call bottom of the barrel, which will be heavy fuel oil. So that is 60,000 barrels per day.
How many barrels does Uganda consume per day?
So today we are consuming about 42,000 barrels per day.
So how will this meet the demand 3 years later?
So in terms of our plan, we are not completely closing the importation market. So this refinery will be supplemented by the importation route without a doubt. And then as we continue with our exploration agenda, once we discover additional crude oil, we have provided for expansion of this oil refinery. The key driver here is not just the demand, it's also the crude oil volumes. So there has to be additional resource. So that's why we are aggressively moving on to our third licensing round, where we want to open up new areas of exploration in Kadam Moroto, but also Lake Choga Basin and the remaining part of the Hoima Basin. So we will be early next year announcing new areas for competition for new exploration areas for petroleum.
So that refinery, for how many years? Looking at the resource that we have, how many years can it operate?
We have structured the refinery based on the available volumes to operate for 20 years. But in terms of its structure and the longevity of refineries, refineries can operate for up to 100 years. You just keep revamping. So as we onboard new crude oil revenue resources, we are able to extend its life.
Will there be a reduction in the fuel prices? Because that's what Ugandans are expecting. They're saying, yeah, now you won't be telling us stories of transportation, you won't be telling us stories of import tax. So how or what should Ugandans expect when the refinery is up and ready?
So the way we structure the project, first of all, it should make commercial sense. So although you're not importing and you've eliminated seemingly logistics, you have an investment. So you have a capital investment, and the investor must recover their investment. So we have what we call import parity. We price the product in terms of the cost of the products from this local refinery in comparison to what it would mean to import. So ideally, you'd be targeting the market price. We as government, given that we are shareholders, would be working to see that at least there is a small drop, a drop in price, but it is a standard pricing because the investor must recover the investment
If
in this
fuel is so
refinery.
far, let's say petrol is 5,000 shillings today, what would we expect when the refinery is done? Projection. Let's say it was ready today. What would be the projection in terms of reduction in prices?
It is
From
not
5,000 to what?
It's not a simple mathematical computation. There's a lot that goes into that. But the confidence we can give to the public is that would not exceed 5,000.
Will not exceed 5,000.
No. In that case, if it was 5,000 today.
But it will still remain 5,000.
Yes, or slightly less, but not significantly less.
So, in other words, there's no big deal for the Ugandans other than knowing that the commodity is available. There will be no scarcity. There's no big deal.
The big issue.
They will have to foot the same cost to meet the same cost.
The real issue is the security of supply. That is your biggest concern as a consumer. The last thing you want is to run out of supply. So by setting up this refinery in country, we've addressed the challenges we have every day, bringing product through Kenya, through Tanzania, the challenges along the high seas as we bring in, each time there are pirate rides or challenges on the Indian Ocean and other coasts, we are challenged in terms of our security of supply. So that's the paramount aspect that we wanted to address. And then there could be a benefit on the price side.